So according to IAB's latest Creator ad spend report, brand investment in Creator is growing at twice the rate of digital advertising, ranking only behind search and social. A few things are driving this, but I think the headline isn't that creators are growing. I think consumer behavior is changing. For a long time, mass media drove mass culture, right? And we thought advertising led to purchase. Throw enough ads in front of consumers, they'll eventually buy. But what we found is that identity actually leads to purchase, and Professor Marcus Collins talks about this. So when the internet came about and communities formed, people found their identities within these communities. So I think what's happening is, the 20th century was about brands marketing to audiences and demographics. The 21st century is going to be about earning the trust of communities where people's identities form.
Zoe, for years, marketers have thought about creators as part of the social strategy, kind of in that limited way. Why do you think now they belong in the wider media strategy?
Because creators are the future. They are the new media companies. For the first time in history, one person can control the content, the distribution, and own the audience relationship. That's something that media companies used to do. If you look at Markiplier's Iron Lung that recently released, that was a $3 million production budget, and it brought in $51 million and premiered in 4,100 cinemas. That's incredible. So I think creators are just elevated so much beyond a tactic to the future of media. And that's what we're seeing.
Zoe, AI is increasingly becoming the front door for discovery and recommendations. How does that change the role creators play in influencing purchase decisions?
I think AI is only going to amplify the role of creators. For the first time, we're seeing synthetic content rivaling man-made content online. I think briefly it overtook man-made content last year. And when content becomes abundant, trust becomes scarce. And where is trust formed? Within communities that creators convene. So increasingly, consumers are not going to be looking to algorithms to navigate this content and make the recommendations. They're going to be looking to people they trust, and creators will play that almost like a concierge role. The Industrial Revolution gave rise to brands because we had to navigate so many products and bigger cities. Then we saw the digital revolution give rise to platforms where social media became a thing and communities evolved. The age of AI will elevate creators because of the abundance of content.
Zoe, what's separating the brands capturing the creator opportunity from those still taking a wait-and-see approach, still sitting on the sidelines?
I think the brands that are winning are engaging creators early as partners as opposed to a distribution tactic. And they're understanding that they're working with creators to earn their place in these communities and placing themselves where conversations and cultural moments are already happening. If you think back to that Budweiser Super Bowl ad where they had the "was up," right? That became viral and everyone was saying it. Brands used to have to do that. They used to have to place a bet and hope that their campaign would take off and create that kind of a moment. Brands no longer need to do that. They can find those moments that are already happening within communities that creators are creating and place themselves against those moments. So in short, campaigns are moments, but communities are movements.
Zoe, you helped launch the IAB PlayFronts as gaming emerged as a major media channel. Why do you feel the industry now needed IAB CreatorFronts?
So IAB PlayFronts really helped the industry understand gaming as media and gave it a seat at the table, at the media table. IAB CreatorFronts is looking to do the same thing for creator. We're at the point where brands are no longer asking, are creators relevant? Or do they deserve a place in the plan? We're at the point of building the infrastructure, and that's what these events are meant to do. They're meant to bring together the industry, connect buyers to the companies that are actively building this infrastructure and that IAB has vetted and given a place on stage. And I think it also helps move the conversation forward. We saw that also with Podcast Upfront. A lot of the infrastructure was built because this event brought attention to it, brought the right people in the same room, and just symbolically says to the industry, this channel has arrived.
Well, let's go back to the PlayFronts a little bit. What makes that event especially important this year, and why should brands and agencies be paying attention now, maybe more than even last year?
Gaming has reached an inflection point, and we're seeing that with a lot of the big industry movers. For a long time, we were almost apologizing to buyers and saying, gaming isn't the 22-year-old in hoodies. The average age is 37. The average playtime is 12 hours a week. It reaches over 200 million Americans. We've moved on from that discussion, and we're no longer apologizing. Where we're at now is build like how a brand's going to access this landmine of it, this oasis of attention, and what is the infrastructure, and what are the shared standards, what are the best practices. If you look at some of the big players, so EA this year announced they launched their gaming ads business, where you can dynamically place ads in consoles. But not only that, they're building the infrastructure that buyers are have come to expect from other channels. And then Xbox, they've also announced a cloud gaming tier where you can, without a Games Pass subscription, you can watch an ad in order to for cloud access to a game you already own. So if you think about that, they're exchanging attention for content, which is the same model that Netflix and Hulu and all these other media channels use. So I think it's a really interesting time to be at PlayFronts to see the industry mature into these conversations.